Hello and welcome back to this edition of Daily Actives brought to you by Bootleg Macro. I'm Dustin. We are looking at AMD once again, and what a wonderful day it was. The reason why I say that is because I see that the price here is red lettering or red background with black lettering. What that means is that this thing is two standard deviations above its 23-day average. I see that the price is now broken above its 5-day average. The 5-day average is now broken back above the 20-day average. And we are getting higher highs without seeing a huge breakout in volume, which I love to see because low volume, low volatility are ways that breakouts happen and how trends continue to return. Now we can see that the volatility has fallen down to probably one of the lowest levels that it could fall to. Right now, it's probably going to have an explosion. And you can see the volatility has been falling for quite a while. Now, the difference is going to change how the correlation is. We'll take a look at that in just one second. What we'll want to see is that correlation starting to rise as well, or at least is starting to turn a little bit from a bottom. Because if it is and volatility starts to break out, this thing could have some aggressive moves higher, and he'll definitely take a position. Now, we can see that on the future price path, it is a little bit mixed when it comes to price to fall, price to rise. Right now, you probably trust the price to fall because I always trust if there's going to be two in a row after a change. That is the only way to say that you have a dominant trend at that moment. One does not make a trend. Now, when we look at the 1 day and the 5 day, they have flipped positive again. The 15-day is still negative, but not by much. The 1 month is still protecting itself as being positive returns. The 3 month and the 6 month, which look fantastic. We do on the short term have a go long, which obviously we're a little bit biased here. This is the daily actives, and I am bootleg macro, which means that I generally want to go long. We do see that we have a go short on the short term, intermediate term, and longer term for AMD. That's not great to see, but we are still on the short term, intermediate term, and longer term tomorrow, bullish across the board. So this go long, I do have an inclination to want to believe in because of that bullish trend on that longer term trend indicator. Now, when we look at the overall sentiment, we do see that we're going to get a rising bull tomorrow. It's very positive to see. When you get a change like this, I like to very honestly look over here at my trading signals. Now, one of the things that's really fascinating is we haven't gotten a serious signal in a long time. Now, we do have very high bull signal or very high bear signals and very high bull signals. You're really going to want to kind of like wait this one out, I think. This is going to be a place where I might want to go long, and the reason why is because I believe in this trend, but I know that it's going to be an ugly path. We've been essentially chopping back and forth since the middle of July or middle of June, beginning of July. We had this big gap breakout at the end of May. We broke out for a little bit. We lost it. We've just been kind of waiting in this gap area, which is still a good opportunity. Don't get me wrong. It's just we're looking for the moment when things are really going to take off. Maybe that's today. Maybe it's not. I'd like to see a little bit more evidence. Now, here's the chart up close and personal. You can see we've just gotten a very tight consolidation day today. Essentially, it's inside of this larger candle, I guess. I don't know exactly if that's good or bad, but it's going towards the top. Now we can see that it looks like the daily sentiment is rising, which is fantastic after being low. I'd probably definitely buy this now because this is the bullish sentiment. We're at 52% on the daily. Do like to see it. We're above 50%. We are rounding. We've got some recent volume. As the volume is starting to break out and we are moving higher, very good to see. The volatility has been falling for quite a bit. Again, I do like to see the low volatility kind of gliding higher volatility breakouts. It's really positive. Now, we do want to look at the volatility price correlation. Here's the thing. The volatility price correlation is starting to fall, but it's still positive. So if this volatility starts to break out, we are still positive, which means that this could just stay positive. And essentially what it could do is something like this, where you can see it starting to fall, and then it gets another breakout, and it just stays positive for a bit while the volatility is actually breaking out again, and that would be very positive for price. Would love to see it. Especially considering that the volatility, with it getting so small or getting so low recently, you can see that the tightness of the ranges, $120, the top of the range right now, the bottom is 106. I mean, the range used to be up at $139 back in June. It kind of topped out in here in May, 132, and then it's been a steady decline ever since as that volatility has been falling. I mean, when I look at the ultra fast sentiment, I'm super intrigued, super duper intrigued, super friggin' intrigued. I mean, when I look at the weekly trade range, I mean, yeah, it's expanded quite a bit, but you still have $137 in the range. But tell me what you think in the comments below. Are you long? Are you short? Do you like it? Do you love it? Is this even a good review? And before you go, subscribe to the New High newsletter. We send you 25 stocks to your inbox every Sunday at 9 a.m. for free. Go get yourself some. Talk to you soon.